All right, it's coming.
There we go. All right. Good morning, everyone. I call to order the meeting of the CCS ILL Technical Group on Thursday, February 19th at 9:30 a.m. The minutes from our August meeting were distributed with today's agenda. Jenny did a great job. They were very robust. It was a big song and dance, if anybody remembers that. Are there any additions or corrections to those minutes? Okay. Hearing none, I will take the minutes as approved as written. So I'm going to go pull up the agenda. That's the minutes. All right. Are there any last minute additions to the agenda? Okay, got a note. So then moving on to officer reports. I have nothing.
Wait,
Amy? Oh
I'm
yeah.
sorry.
No, go Ann, for sure.
I wasn't, yeah.
You're
We
fine.
just have a question to add to the agenda when you have time.
Yeah, I can add it now. What would you like to add?
Um, we had received tell me, you say it, Sophie, because you do it.
Yeah. We got a request from Algonquin through OCLC and pick list the same day.
So,
why was it not just on pick list, one on both?
Okay.
are you understanding?
I believe
Okay.
so. Yeah, it's
Okay.
showing up simultaneously in World
Yeah.
Share and in Picklist. Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
I am adding that to the new business. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mhm. Any other additions? Okay.
Well, Carrie, I had
Yes.
emailed you that one thing.
Yes, Jackie, I added yours. So you are good.
Okay.
Thank you for the reminder. Any other? Okay. If anything comes up, please say. Officer reports. I don't have anything. Amy, do you have anything?
I don't have anything.
All right. Jenny, do you have anything?
I don't have anything.
All right, we're cruising. So we're going to move on to CCS staff reports. Both Kiara and Mieko have topics for us today, but Kiara's got the front half with find more updates and next steps to start.
I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. All right, hopefully you can all see that. Beautiful, thank you, Carrie. All right, so yes, just some Find More Illinois updates to begin. So during the February governing board, directors voted to continue our contract with Rails for Find More Illinois. So we will be committing to 3 more years in the program, and that's through June of 2029. And I also want to share that since our last meeting, Rails has also added a handful of academic libraries to the program, with I believe a total of 9 colleges and universities participating, which was something that we really were looking forward to. So I want to thank you all for your hard work and Find More these last couple of years. I know it was a bumpy start and it's been a little bit smoother sailing. I hope you all feel that way, and I hope this feels like good news. If you have any questions, CCS staff is here to continue supporting you through any of those. And that is my update. Our plan is to onboard Waukegan and Mount Prospect staff next in the next few months. And then after Rolling Meadows and Wakandas have a few months in CCS, we'll go ahead and work through a training schedule with them to get them in Find More as well. I'm going to pause, see if there are any Find More questions, any concerns or comments. Okay. Hearing none, I can move on to my next report, which is just a reminder that we will be. Ooh, Jackie?
I'm sorry.
No, go
I
for it.
was kind of wondering, one of our biggest, I don't know, say complaints or issues with Find More has always been the fact that patrons can't see once a request goes in, until it what the status of it is. It's not showing on their holds or their ILL. Is that ever gonna get a change?
So, Deborah, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that Rails is currently working with Shareit on their contract, and it sounds like they're going to continue working with Shareit. So, as of right now, I haven't heard of any changes to that, but it's something we could definitely flag to make sure that they're aware of and something that we've been wanting to see. That makes total sense. Patrons don't know on the Leap side that their hold is ready until it like pops up, and they don't know the process, so they might be calling you. Do you get a lot of calls asking what the
Well,
progress is?
even with staff, some of the staff, like our adult services staff, puts in requests to find
Mm-hmm.
more, but they're not looking at the share it side. So we've had a few instances where it looks like nothing's going on, and then where they've had duplicates out and find more, and then they're going out to OCLC. We've had that happen several times, and
Got
it
it.
causes a lot of confusion.
That's a great question. I will flag it with Eric as something that we would like to see.
Thank you.
Yeah, and
Of
this
course,
this
Jackie.
might be something on the Polaris side that maybe we can submit an
Mm,
enhancement request, or not enhancement request, but submit an idea in the idea exchange. Um, so like how it kind of works is that when that request is placed in Share It sends and creates like, I don't know what the official terminology is, but in my brain I call them like a shadow request in Polaris. So it's like not it's not like an official request, but like sure, it sends some data back to Polaris to be like, oh, they placed a request in this additional tool, but it doesn't display it to the patron until it's confirmed there's like an item to fill the request when you receive it. So maybe there's something we can request in terms of development on the Polaris end to display that to the patron, but I'm not sure if they could work with it, but we can definitely look into it.
Because I swear, a couple of us remember when we went to the training um, for Find More, that it did show when we were doing the little practice things, and I, oh my gosh, it does show up in your holds. We all thought that happened, and then once it was implemented and going, we realized, oh no, it doesn't show. I might be wrong about that, but
I barely feel like my brain remembers anything back in training.
no, that was
So
like,
let us look into it again, Jackie. And then we'll see if this is again which side this lives on. Is it a share it like enhancement request, or is it something on the Polaris end? And then we can see if we've got any next steps for pushing that development forward.
yeah,
But that's a
great.
good
yeah.
feedback.
Thank
Thanks for
you.
sharing.
There's something in the chat from
Ooh.
Lori White. What happens when retry? Does it automatically retry or do we need to delete and re-enter the request?
Um, Deborah, correct me if I'm wrong. I believe we have to go and manually resubmit the request. Because when a library asks you to retry, they're usually giving you a reason, like it'll be available on this day, or we're not currently checking this out. And then you would have to go back and follow the library's instructions to resubmit that. Does that sound correct to you, Deborah? I see you checking.
Let me look that one up. I don't want to say the wrong thing. Let me look it up and I'll pop the answer in the chat. But if anyone knows
Thank
off
you.
their top of their
I
head,
think
let
that's
us know.
right. I think you
I
have to
feel,
manually do it.
hmm
She says,
I
thank you.
have
That's
one quick question. I have one quick question. Is it true that you can't change the due date on something until it's received by the other library?
I would have
Like
to
I've had
test
a
that to
request
know.
for, they request for like a longer due date because they have a book club or something. And
Oh,
I don't know how to change that due date. And I was told I can't until it is received on the other end. And then I can like renew it.
so my question is, when you first ship it, does it let you choose
It
the
doesn't let me
do?
choose to change the date anymore.
Okay. Okay. So then I'm gonna double check, but then yes, if that's what the system is not allowing it, we may have to wait until the library marks it as received, and then we
Okay.
would be able to update the due date. But I'm gonna check for you, okay?
Okay, thank
That
you.
was Joyce,
Yes,
correct?
yes.
Okay, beautiful. Thank you. I see
Yeah,
Tony has come off mute. No? Any comments? No, okay, never mind. Anyone else? Amy, we're waiting on an answer. Deborah, did you find that?
I'm still poking through, but
It's
I think
okay.
that's correct that you have to manually go to retry. I'm just trying to find
I
the official communication on that. So
I
give me a
have
few minutes.
a
But I'll pop it
email
in the
with
chat.
Eric in my head, and I believe that's what it was, but I will also double check Amy and I can send an update on that.
And for Joyce, just poking around in Share It right now, yeah, setting the due date does not appear to be an option at all. I think I've had that issue previously with book clubs as well, kind of emphasizing that it's like, just request it and I can
Yeah. Well, it's
extend the
kind
due
of,
date for you.
Adjust.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But it's just back
Okay.
and forth. It's easier if it would do it right away.
Okay. That's also something we can flag with them. Thank you for bringing up choice. Okay, great questions. What else?
I had something interesting yesterday with Find More.
Yes.
Um, uh, library was blocked from requesting from us because it was there was a due date issue with the NSIP account. So they couldn't, Kiara, what was it they couldn't do?
So when a library
Yeah.
attempted to place a borrowing request for your library, on their history, it showed that Wilmette was blocked from them. And so then my hunch was that because Wilmette had overdue items, maybe the account was just blocked. So then we went and we renewed the overdue items on the Polaris side, and
Yes,
then the request went through.
right. So we just have to constantly monitor the NSIP account to make sure if something is overdue, we need to renew it so others
Right.
can use our service.
And something else to know is that if you renew it in the Leap side on your NSIP account, it does not renew it on Share It, so that the
Right.
other library cannot see that. So if you don't actually want to give them an extended deadline, you don't have to do that, but it will pop up in your NSIP account as overdue.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so if your NSIP account has a hard block, so you maybe there's a bill on the NSIP account, um, it's blocked, like it has a hard block for some other reason, then in Share It, it will consider that account blocked as well. So we just keep tabs on your NSIP account and see if any hard blocks pop up. And in that case, if we clear them, then it will clear up any borrowing or lending blocks on the Share It side.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Let me give a second for any more chat questions, or if you have find more, please feel free to come off mute. I'm scanning. Okay, so I think that I am ready to move on. If anything does come up, please open a ticket and we're going to be here to help you out through those. All right, next up, I have our upgrade to Leap 8.0 quickly approaching. And to help you prepare, Rachel and I will be hosting a 1 hour webinar next Tuesday, February 24th at 11 a.m. If you're interested, you can find the registrations for that, details for that on L2. I'll be sharing out the link to that Zoom call for all the registered events on Monday, so that's when you can expect that if you're registering today. The upgrade itself is scheduled for the late evening of Monday, March 23rd. That'll be at 10 p.m. It'll happen when all of our libraries are closed, and it should take about 2 to 3 hours. And during this time, all Polaris applications will be unavailable. So just something to keep in mind if you're trying to log into Leap at 10 p.m. for some reason. Questions about Leap 8.0?
Will that be recorded and available later?
Yes, I will record it. I'll post it on the YouTube page and I'll also send it out with the newsletter. Good question.
Okay.
All right. Next up is just a reminder that we have the Rails Count week starting on Monday, February 23rd. That's this coming Monday, believe it or not. And it goes through Friday, February 27th. During this week, Rails is asking you to physically count every item in your delivery container and then complete the online form for each delivery day. So you could get more information on that on the Rails site. I know you all are probably experts. And then I also linked information in last week's CCS newsletter. And I will, oh, Carrie,
Yeah, not related. I just realized I didn't see the sign in link in the chat.
beautiful. Thank you for reminding me.
Yeah, so when Kiara pops that in there, folks, if you want to sign in. And
Yes.
it does look like Deborah also confirmed in the share documentation, you do have to manually resend requests with the status of retry, update them
Beautiful.
to approved send to resubmit them. Okay, cool.
Thanks for looking that up, Deborah. I am going to pass it on to Mieko, and while she's telling you about BiblioCore, I will send the link.
Thanks, Kiara. Okay, so I just wanted to give a brief overview of our BiblioCore Discovery Layer project. Just kind of show you also where are there some opportunities to promote out-of-system resource sharing. So I just want to start with an overview of what we've done, where we're at, and what's coming up. So the project started with a preparation stage during Q4 2025, and this is where CCS and the BiblioCore team began working together to prepare for the setup. So each library will have their own BiblioCore site. So this stage included collecting configuration information from the libraries and consulting with database management on configuration topics and decisions. We are currently at the end of the installation and configuration stage. So during the well, so far this calendar year, BiblioCommons, who is our site vendor, has been building all of our sites and doing some basic testing. And the exciting thing is CCS should have access to those sites sometime next week, at which point we'll move into the validation stage. So this is our testing stage. And during this period, we will need to review the site configuration and test site behavior. Testing will be divided up between CCS and the libraries. And once we're able to review what this involves with the BiblioCommons team, we'll be reaching out to the library project contacts with a checklist of testing tasks to run through. So this will be things like testing, registering as a user, placing holds, doing searches, that sort of thing. And if we find issues as we're testing, we'll submit them to the BiblioCommons team so they can make adjustments and fix issues. So past that, once we've completed all that testing, we will move into a staff preview and training stage. During this period, library staff will get training on BiblioCore. Some of that training will come from the BiblioCommons team. Some training will be provided by CCS. And also staff can begin to prepare content for your BiblioCore site. So things like featured title lists. And then 1 month before we go live with BiblioCore, we will move into a public preview stage. This is kind of like a soft launch stage. So the Power Pack will still be our primary online catalog, but BiblioCore will be available for patrons to try out. Libraries can really promote the new catalog. CCS is preparing a marketing toolkit for libraries and a site for patron-facing resources like an FAQ and short how-to videos so that libraries can use and link to for your users. Our target public launch date is tentatively set for May 19th. At this time, BiblioCore will become the primary discovery interface for libraries who have chosen to launch in May. For the libraries who are not able to launch in May, they will choose an alternative launch date between May and October for their public launch. So for those libraries, you'll just be in an extended preview stage until that launch date. So your patrons will continue to use the pack, but will still have access to test out and use BiblioCore if they want. So essentially all libraries will be live on BiblioCore by the time Rolling Meadows and Wakanda formally join us and start using Polaris, which is set for October 20th. Go ahead and move to the next slide.
Mieko, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Can you just confirm the date? Wakanda and Rolling Meadows is October 20th. Is that
Correct.
correct? Okay, thank you.
So this slide
just kind of shows you some of the areas in BiblioCore we can promote out of system resources. During that past library prep stage, we collected configuration options from libraries. And this included things like links to external services or resources. Not only did many libraries opt to link patrons to like your website pages on ILL services, but we'll also be able to promote Find More Illinois here as well. So these are some screenshots of some other BiblioCore sites, not ours yet. A couple links will appear at the end of every set of search results. Let me see if I can use the pointer here. Maybe. Never mind. I'm not going to mess with things. So I don't want to mess things up. So that was the screenshot on the left. So at the end of your list of search results or like a no results list, you'll see links to your own library services that will direct patrons back to like key pages on your website. And one dedicated option was learn about interlibrary loan. So a lot of libraries did choose to display that link. Next in that panel, the patron will see a section called Other Resources. This area, thanks, Kiara. This area is meant to link the patron to external services. So like Find More Illinois will be featured here for all libraries. And then some libraries additionally submitted links to your WorldCat page. So the links to those external other resources will also appear at the top of the search results under a dropdown, and that is what you see in the screenshot on the bottom. So again, this is going to feature a link to Find More Illinois, and then whatever other external resources your library wanted to promote, which may include WorldCat. So information about the project can be found on our website on a member tool page called BiblioCore Discovery Layer. I will say CCS staff will be learning a lot more about this tool over the next couple weeks. So watch CCS News for updates, including upcoming training opportunities and any other general project updates. And I will pause right now for any questions.
In the chat, Kiara put in the technical group sign-in sheet.
I'll say if any questions do come up, feel free just to submit them to help@ccslib.org. I know I've appreciated getting the questions because it gives me an opportunity to like dig into the documentation and learn things about BiblioCore. So I found the questions very helpful. I think that's it for me.
Great. We don't have any old business to address, so we'll move on to new business. Starting off with Amy, had a question about unclaimed holds and how others handle missing on the hold shelves.
So we contact the patron regardless of the owning library, and I wanted to make sure that that's okay. When they get back to us and have it, we check it out to their account. If they don't get back to us, we check it out and make it a claims never had. Does that sound right?
So I use the documentation on CCS's website because I've come across this as well. The only thing I would add is I try to contact the owning library to just see if it accidentally made its way back there.
Okay.
And then documentation says to have the owning library clear the unclaim and change it to missing
Okay.
if it hasn't if it's after 14 days or they've confirmed that it's not there.
Okay, so who do you contact there? The ILL person or circulation?
I think I've just honestly done the circ distribution email just to say like, hey, can't find this. That way, hopefully the right staff member is contacted, but then they can also address it at their own pace.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna hop in and just echo what Carrie said. I linked the circulation manual. It's page 24 and 25 that discusses this.
Uh-huh.
Um, it's basically what you just mentioned. You would contact the patron first. If it's your item, then you can go ahead and mark it as missing if or claim not never had. If it's the other another library's item, you are just again going to contact the patron as your first step. Check your own stacks and then contact the owning library within 14 days if you aren't able to locate the item.
Okay. And thanks for the link. I appreciate that. I
Yeah.
didn't think to do that.
Oh,
Hey,
this is what it's for.
hey, Amy.
Yep.
Just as a point of reference, if you were to do claims never had and check it out, you need to double check because the patron's already told you that they do not have it. When you
Uh-huh.
check it out, if they have e-receipts on it, they're
Mhm.
going to see that you checked it out to them, and that becomes a very uncomfortable conversation sometimes. So that's one of the steps I think that CCS has done to kind of avoid that. But at the
Okay.
same time, you could turn those off and turn them back on for the patron as well. Just
Okay.
as a heads up, um, that's happened to a couple of my staff. They didn't realize that.
Yep, you do that once and then you don't do it again. You learn.
Gotcha. Okay. Thank you.
Right, nobody has any other comments. Amy's all good. We can move on to what Jackie shared with me, OCLC and Share through Illinois Heartland. And Jackie was just curious, do any libraries utilize Share through Illinois Heartland when an item is unable to be filled through OCLC? And I'll let Jackie continue. Oh, Jackie, you're muted.
Sorry, boomer brain. I was I told Carrie I was trying to update, oh, we forgot to talk about when OCLC had that update a couple months ago and threw us all kind of into a tailspin of changing things around unexpectedly. So I was doing some manual updates and I stumbled on an old manual of ours, some documentation on Share Illinois. And in this manual, the written things were when a request comes back unfilled and all viable lenders have been exhausted, and there's steps to going out to Share. Use a share link and attempt to place a hold in the system the library belongs to, et cetera, et cetera. And I thought, well, I don't know anything about this, and I've never gone out to Share. And I asked some of my staff that's been here longer than me, and they said, no, we've never done it. But there was this documentation, and I was just curious if other libraries go out to Share and how you do it. And
I can speak to that. Um, Rails used to sponsor a program. I don't know if you call it a program, but they used to sponsor Share Illinois, and Share Illinois allowed consortia to have accounts so that they could directly log into each other's catalogs to place requests. So they sunset that program, I believe, in 2019 or 2020. So I don't know if some of you remember, like we used to have a special like interlibrary loan version of the pack, and libraries like Naperville
yeah,
could log
yeah,
in directly into the catalog, place requests, and then you would process them. Like they show up on your pick list, you'd process them normally and then pop them in Rails delivery. So that program unfortunately is no more. So that at this time isn't is no longer an option to us.
okay. Thank you.
Good job digging up that documentation though. I like whenever I dig up something like I'm like, what is this?
Yeah,
And then you're like, oh yeah, I do remember
yeah,
that. Like sprung a light bulb.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember the old days of the Naperville would to our catalog. But
Yeah. I
thank
think
you.
we had like Naperville was like our biggest one that would
Yes,
utilize that service through us.
yeah,
So I think there wasn't much usage, so they decided to stop that
yeah,
partnership.
yeah. Once in a while, I still get an email from them. Thank you.
All right, very cool. The next for new business is OCLC addresses and Leap and Kiara. I believe this was you, correct? Yeah.
All right. So we had a ticket come in flagging that OCLC Patriot University of Evansville had two different addresses. So their address on Leap was one, and then in OCLC, they were requesting an item with a different shipping address. So then the question became, which address should we have on our Leap account, or if we should include both of them? And then looking into like the OCLC side, we did confirm that both of these addresses were related to this university. So it was kind of like, which one do we choose? So I wanted to have a conversation with you all to see if this is something that has come up on your end, if you've noticed it, and then have a discussion on whether it would be helpful if we added the second address to the Leap account, or would it be more of a hindrance to staff? And then if we included both, what are some potential guidelines that we should have in place? So for this example, the University of Evansville, our library staff, I believe it was Crystal Lake, they in the account added a note that said which address it should be sent to. So thinking about what should we do in these situations, and if in the registration, so I'm going to pop over to the registration, go to address. We currently have one address listed, but we can make the decision to add a second one. One thing to note that though is that if we add two addresses, only the first one will appear in the find tool when you're searching the find tool. So I am gonna stop talking for a second and see what you all think. And I'll stop sharing too so you can look at each other. There.
I mean, just to get this discussion going, I'm in favor of deferring to whatever their OCLC like policy address is and making that the primary address in LEAP, because then it confirms that whatever the borrowing library has shared is correct. And that's what I would end up verifying against in LEAP. I think adding more than one address might be potentially confusing, especially if it doesn't even allow to be searched by in the find tool.
Ashley at Grays Lake agrees with Carrie. Lori White
Kiara,
agrees.
and just to clarify, um, is the second address searchable or does it just not display in your search results in the find tool?
Oh, that's a good question. Let me check. I'm gonna test with Evansville and then let you know in a minute while you all continue to discuss.
And we have a couple more. I agree with Carrie.
Okay, while Kiara does this is sort of related. There's been an interesting glitch in OCLC where sometimes the borrowing information is not appearing or populating on the forms, and it's like, oh, I'm getting more familiar with the policy section because I got to find out who this is. And I don't know, it's happened as us as borrowers and lenders. So it's just odd. I don't know what's happened. I think it happened with the update, but
Tony has something in the chat. Sorry, I've been beaming in and out. Technical difficulties, which I'm absolutely positive are my fault. I was planning to chant 3 more years in honor of Find More, but we could save it for May. And then another agree for Carrie. Yelena GVK, yes, it did happen with their latest update. Joyce from Fremont, it happened to me a few times, as well as no shipping information.
as long as I can find it, I'm fine. But it's like, oh, where is this going?
Elena, I opened a ticket with them 2 months ago. Kay Brinkley, we also noticed missing shipping information. Yelena, they said yes, it depends on borrowing library, filling it out. Joyce, I usually make it conditional and ask for address.
It's just odd because I think we had 2 requests from like Fox Lake, and one of them was fine and the other one wasn't. So it's like they do have it filled out, obviously, because it appeared in the other one, but um yeah.
Vernon says we've had missing addresses and we find it by using the policy information in OCLC. Megan says Texas libraries are my most consistent offenders for some reason. Yes, Texas.
In general, I think OCLC became worse after the last update. It's lagging out, it's so slow,
Yes.
changing and updating. The new ones, the considering it's like lagging out, sending the shipping and bookstraps to the queue. It's not even showing for a few, not even seconds. I was trying to count a minute and a half.
It's fun if you click on a request, you can actually watch the titles of previous requests populate as it continues to work through the one you're actively
Yeah,
looking
yeah,
for.
yeah.
It's fun.
It's became much worse somehow up after that latest update 3 months ago, when they changed a little bit uh, the looking and the pages, the tabs, something they changed, the format, how it was.
Elliot Rowe says we choose to go back to the legacy version of OCLC WorldShare, and it's been better. Ashley from Grays Lake, the update for OCLC has been a little rough.
And my biggest gripe is I finally did detailed instructions on how to use OCLC for my staff with screenshots and everything. And literally a week later, they totally changed the interface. And I was like, sick, awesome. So we'll do that again later. Kiara, did you find anything?
Yes. If you search by either addresses, the account will come up.
We just had a situation where Nashville's package was returned to us. So I contacted them and they're like, oh, by the way, we had a fire and so we've moved temporarily. And I don't know how to send to them another time. Like now I'm like, oh, if Nashville asks for something, I'm going to need to confirm what their address is. But I don't know where they could have changed it. So we wouldn't have had the problem in the first place. Anyway, I sent it out to their new address.
They should be able to update their
In
OCLC
OCLC,
policy.
yeah.
Yeah, right.
In
Yeah.
OCLC policy, it's
Yeah.
You would
That would be,
think. Yeah.
you would think. Um, so it does show both addresses. It does sound like folks who shared preferences, though, tend to lean with just whatever is in the policies. Does anybody have any preferences now that both addresses pop up to include any potential addresses, or does it still seem like the best move is to have whatever is listed in the OCLC policies for the LEAP address?
And just to clarify, when
Mhm.
we search for the item for the patron, it'll show only the first address in the find tool. But
So,
if we search by either address in the quick search box, it'll still pop up.
okay. So it does still give priority
Yes, to that
to
first
that
one.
first one. Okay.
Correct.
Carrie,
Yes.
I was just going to say the same thing that you said earlier. I had just done some manual, like I said, I've been working on updating the manual and just taken screenshots of the old OCLC, and I'm like, oh my gosh,
It was very heartbreaking.
frustrating.
Yes.
And I'm
Right.
still a little hesitant on I'm not taking any more screenshots, is what I'm saying, of the new one. So I'm
Yeah.
sure it's that way it's going to be. I don't know.
I might switch to the legacy version. I did not know that was an option. I'm gonna dig around a
Yeah,
little
didn't
bit.
either.
Yeah.
Oh.
Um, Kiara,
Oh.
is there anything we as a group need to do, like for procedures wise, to have that explicitly stated to pull the listed address in the policies and put that in there? Or is this more just an informal, like, if you see it, do this?
That is a great question. Deborah, I'm going to pull you in. Do you think that this is more informal, or should we have a vote on whether we should specify procedure?
Well, I'm looking at, so this isn't in, let's say, our CERC manual. So it is sort of documentation that we have just on our website. So what do you say, Kiara, about maybe drafting up some clarifications to the documentation on the website and then running them by the CERC ILL advisory group, just to see if there's any feedback, and then we can share them
Okay,
out with the larger group, to make sure everybody's on the same page. Does that sound good? Yep.
beautiful. And
Yep.
the
To the
CERC
general
ILL
group.
group is meeting tomorrow, so I'll get that prep for us and it'll be good to go. All right, thank you for that
Speedy
discussion. It's very
turnaround.
helpful. Yeah.
One more chat. Natalia said only one OCLC address.
So another vote. Very cool. All right. If there is nothing else for the OCLC addresses in LEAP, like Deborah said, Kiara will get that drafted and sent to the advisory group for us tomorrow. Otherwise, we will move on to what Anne had asked about, the requests from Algonquin, but requests appearing in both OCLC and pick list.
Do you need us to explain
I
it
guess
again?
not. There was a very pregnant pause for you. I guess once again,
I,
just saying it for
Was it a
myself.
mistake? I don't know because it came the same time.
yeah.
The only time that I've seen that happen has been as me as the borrowing library accidentally requesting it from a CCS library while it was simultaneously in LEAP, but I don't obviously know if that's the situation here, if it was just staff who were like, yeah, A-OK, and didn't realize it.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Okay, we just were wondering.
Yeah, why was that?
But yeah, has anybody
And
noticed that before?
I have a
Besides,
question for Anne, and it was in OCLC, not Find More, because Ashley at Grace Lake did report an instance where something was requested through Find More, and it created a duplicate request in Leap, and we're still trying to figure out how that happened.
Mhm.
No, it
So
was in
It
OCLC.
was OCLC. Okay.
Yes.
no, it doesn't sound like anybody has ran into it or noticed it. So yeah, I kind of am curious if it was just
Probably mistake.
just
double
probably
dipping.
an error. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
thank
you.
you for asking. So that's all that we had listed for explicit new business. Does anybody have any other topics they would like to discuss?
I just have one update. I'm sorry we forgot this in the staff update. Um, I don't know if anyone from Round Lake is here today, but just a heads up that they are unexpectedly closed through March 4th due to some complications with their carpet replacement project. So heads up that their collections will be unavailable for a couple weeks while the building is closed. Last time I talked to Alicia, they were planning to suspend Rails delivery as well. They won't be processing the pick list. So just a heads up that they are kind of last minute out of commission for a couple of weeks here. So hopefully, I'm sure it's been very stressful over there. Hopefully, everything can kind of finish up and get wrapped up in the next 2 weeks with that.
I do have something about that, a question, because we have gotten numerous calls from Round Lake patrons because of our close proximity. People were very confused about what was happening with their holds. A few people changed the pickup location to us, but there were some holds that were like not shipped yet. I mean, there was confusion on their patrons' parts. So I do wonder what was going on with their holds. Were their holds
Yeah. So we
automatically go into other libraries and that
So their holds have been any hold that hadn't been filled that has been in the status of request has been suspended through March 6th. So they shouldn't pop up on libraries pick lists. You should avoid sending them in transit. Um, one thing I need to check with Round Lake on. So anything that was in transit, um, or like is currently in transit, may be held at Rails until they're receiving Rails delivery again. And that's just kind of unavoidable. They don't have access to the building. They're not able to process or receive those bins and check things in. So there is like some items that are just going to kind of remain in limbo until they're able to process those bins. What they were going to do with items on the hold shelf, they were going to check in any hold that had been that a non-Round Lake item had trapped for. They were going to cancel those holds, check in the items, send them back to your library, and then reactivate the hold so that when they reopen, the hold could be filled again. And as far as I'm aware, I think that they were planning just to leave holds that had been filled by Round Lake items on the hold shelf until they reopen. But patrons, if they want to, can change their hold pickup location to another library during this time if they need the items faster.
thank you. Yeah, we got several calls of
Yeah, and it was just unfortunately, I think just last minute that they had to. So kind of doing the best with the situation to try to navigate all of that for patrons. So again, any hold for pickup at Round Lake is currently paused until they reopen. But if a patron in the meantime wants to pick it up at a different CCS location, they could switch that pickup location and unpause the hold.
thank
And
you.
if we should happen to get Round Lake items back at our library, do we just hold on to them or do we put them in transit?
I mean, I think you can check them in and put them back in transit.
Okay.
They'll just be held at Rails until they're accepting delivery again.
Okay, great. Thanks.
But Jackie, if any other issues or complications come up, just open a ticket and we can help kind of figure out the best way to smooth the situation there and
Thank
support
you.
everybody. So
Yeah.
last minute closures, that's got to be stressful for the whole team. So if anyone from Round Lake is here, you guys got this. Keep going.
All right, any other last minute topics? Okay. With nothing else, we didn't have any library highlights. The next meeting for the ILL Tech Group is going to be May 14th at the CCS offices in the Fishbowl, according to the calendar. And we will be voting for officers because that's how it happens that fast. So Amy will be taking up the mantle of chair, but Jenny and I will be piecing out. So if that's something that you are really gung-ho about, consider it. It's easy. There's only 3 meetings. It's pretty easy. Can attest. And yeah, Deborah, Kiara, Mieko, if you guys don't have anything else, can I have a motion to adjourn?
I move to adjourn.
I got Ann. Can I have a second?
Second.
Got Jackie Leakvilla. All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. No nays. We are adjourned at 10:19. Thank you, everybody. I
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Bye, guys.